Lakers were cruising with 8 straight wins, heading into Saturday's matchup against the rival Celtics, but LeBron went down and the streak was snapped. He missed 17 games in 2018-19 with a groin injury. But LeBron's injury couldn't come at a worse time for the Lakers. After playing the Nets tonight, they have a trio of back-to-back, starting with road games against the Bucks and the Nuggets on Thursday and Friday. The Lakers are the only team that plays 6 games in an 8-day span this season. As we welcome in NBA reporter Dave McMenamin. Dave, what more can you tell us about LeBron as he tries to recover from this injury?
Christine, the Lakers training staff is allowing that groin injury of LeBron's to, quote, calm down before they go for further evaluation. At that point, they'll be able to figure out a treatment plan and a recovery schedule. But that hasn't happened yet. So all we know right now is certainly he's out against the Nets. And as Shams Charania and I have reported, it's going to be a period of weeks that he's expected to be out, not days. And so, right now the priority is just allowing LeBron that injury to rest, and then they're going to go in and evaluate it again and see where they can go in terms of finding a pathway back to him on the court. Okay, so big picture, after tonight's game in Brooklyn, the Lakers have road games against the Bucks and then the Nuggets before a 5-game homestand. What can you tell us about the team's strategy and emphasis while LeBron is out? Yeah, LeBron's not the only player out tonight in Brooklyn. They'll be missing their starting center, Jackson Hayes, out again with a knee injury. There's no Dorian Finney-Smith, who's out with an ankle injury, and Rui Hachimura continues to be out, and he's a starter for them as well with a knee injury of his own. Now, I spoke to a source close to Luka Doncic, and he is echoing the same message that LeBron did to him when he was traded to Dallas to LA, and he was out with a calf injury. LeBron's messaging to Luka was, take your time, get healthy. We want you to be you when you are ready to be you. Luka's sending the same message back to LeBron. Take your time, get healthy, get ready, because we want you to be you when you come back. That's our best version of ourselves. Meanwhile, with all those players out of the lineup, Luka's not looking at it like, I need to be the guy to take care of everything through this. He feels like everybody will be involved in picking up the pieces while LeBron is out. Yeah, LeBron James, 40 years old. They definitely want him to take it slow and be at 100% before they push him out there. Dave McMenamin, thank you so much.
Thought we were going to get it. Luka was in the game, making the run. The Celtics were doing the thing that they do, which is they play brilliantly and then they take their foot off the gas. And they were in the process of having a very Celtics game. And then midway through the fourth quarter, LeBron pulled up lame, Dave, and it was still a very interesting game. We're going to talk about it. We learned some things from it. But now one of the biggest questions in the NBA is the severity and what sort of lingering effects LeBron's leg injury is going to have. So I saw what you reported yesterday. Who knows what you may know by the time this podcast runs. But LeBron having a groin injury is obviously concerning. It's going to be something that they're going to have to manage.
Right. It was a big blow, and you knew that was somewhat serious when finals matchups. It's going to require more than one hand, but this is a precious commodity to be in that situation. And the injury kept him out of things, and I'm reporting that it's going to be most likely multiple weeks. He's going to let that kind of injury calm down a bit, and then there's going to be some further evaluation to get a full extent of the severity of the strain. But it's a tough moment because Rui Hachimura is out for at least another week, as JJ Redick told us on Saturday. Jackson Hayes, they hope to get back on this current road trip, but obviously he's dealing with knee soreness. And Luka is a little banged up himself from a fall that he took in the New York game, and he was wincing as he was working his back out against the Celtics. So they are not in a great place health-wise. It's a good thing they did all this work up to this moment to surge up the Western Conference standings. They still won 20 of their last 25 games, even with this loss to the Celtics. But now it's a different math that we're talking about for the remainder of the season. It's about what you can do to perhaps still host a first-round playoff series while the biggest priority is having LeBron James right for the start of the postseason.
Yeah, this is the nature of the NBA, specifically the Western Conference right now. It's just fragile. So, they're absolutely flying high. They look great. Jackson Hayes going down really affected them. especially with Rui Hachimura out. When you watch this game, we'll talk to you about this in a second, Bontemps, but you watch this game, even though Kristaps Porzingis didn't play for the Celtics, you could very clearly tell the Celtics' game plan was to take advantage of the Lakers' lack of size in the interior. I mean, LeBron was playing center for big stretches of the game. Luka was playing center at times out there. And
I mean, certainly I think watching the game, like you said, we saw the Celtics again get a 20-point lead against one of the other 5 best teams in the league. They've done that against the Cavs, the Nuggets, the Knicks, and now the Lakers. And they have the Thunder coming in, the other one of the top 6 teams in the league on Wednesday to the Garden. So we'll see how it goes in that game. So I thought more or less we saw the Celtics be who they've been all season. I do think from the Lakers side, seeing them in person for the first time since the trade, JJ Redick deserves a ton of credit for how hard he has these guys playing defensively. Like we've talked about, they don't have a lot of, necessarily, they don't have an overwhelming a lot of defensive talent, especially when they're going to try to have, the combination of Luka and Austin Reeves and LeBron all out there at the same time, though LeBron's been really engaged at that end of the court. But you saw in this game, to me, the thing that's allowed them to be so good defensively is that they've been playing so hard. And there's so much energy from an energy standpoint. But I do think we saw a little bit of the challenges that they're going to have when they're playing in a 7-game series against higher level teams, because they're going to have to play at that kind of frenetic pace to really be able to hang, I think, defensively. And, we'll see if LeBron can hold up. I mean, it's remarkable. We're talking about a guy in his age 40 season. He's missed 4 games. It's impressive he made it this far without any kind of muscle injury. And certainly, hopefully, this is on the shorter end of the timeline, because it's been great to watch these guys play. But, they're I think 1 loss ahead of Denver, 2 ahead of Memphis, and 3 ahead of Houston. And, those 4 teams are going to be jockeying for a position over the next couple of weeks. And we'll see where that lands. But like I said, I thought the Lakers defense was impressive and their energy level was impressive. And as you mentioned, as the game went on, there's a lot of shots that have to be made by guys who are not necessarily reliable 3-point shooters. Those shots went in the first half. They didn't, especially in the third quarter. And that ultimately was the difference in the game.
Yeah, Dave, you in your reporting, you had to mention the fact that LeBron had that groin injury like 5-6 years ago, that Christmas Day game. I think the Lakers, I know we repeated that stat like 100 times, because weren't they like famously in second place in the West?
I think they were fourth. They were fourth.
Oh, they were fourth. Okay. LeBron was going across the lane on defense. He took a funny step, and basically the Lakers season was never the same. They ended up missing the playoffs. He came back and then shut it back down. That was a groin injury. It was the first time he'd ever really had a significant muscle injury in his career. It was sort of an indication that his late 30s or his mid